I want to welcome everybody to the 2019 Great ShakeOut Drill here at Biola University. My name is Margaret Vinci. I am from Caltech and also one of the regional directors from Earthquake Country Alliance, which is ShakeOut. And I also represent Shake Alert Earthquake Early Warning. And my team here from Earthquake Country Alliance is here also with me, and all of our representatives. I want to thank Biola University for being our host for the Great ShakeOut Drill, the media event here at Biola University. And so, what is ShakeOut? ShakeOut Drill is an annual opportunity for everybody to be able to learn and practice earthquake safety with millions of other people around the world. So today as of today, we have 24.4 million people registered to be doing drop, cover, hold on, to be able to practice their preparedness for earthquakes. We have 10.4 million people in California registered to do that also today. And that is ongoing. Everyone and everywhere should know how to protect themselves during an earthquake. At home, at work, and at play. To know that when the earth shakes, you need to drop to the ground immediately before the energy throws you off your feet, to then crawl under and get underneath something that's going to protect you from falling objects, and to hold on to whatever you're under so it doesn't walk away from you. And so unlike recent events where people actually didn't always do the right thing, we need to practice it. The more you practice, the more it becomes muscle memory. The more that your body will get you into that safe place when that earth starts to shake, or when you get the Shake Alert Earthquake Early Warning, that those waves will be soon arriving at your destination and that you get into that safe place. Biola University is a perfect example of the ShakeOut message for everyone to take action and to improve their earthquake resiliency. So that is why we were here today, to actually highlight all of the improvements that they have made to their campus for earthquake safety and resiliency. In addition to the United States Geological Survey Shake Alert Earthquake Early Warning System, they have implemented that into their new communication campus-wide speakers. So they have 12 speakers across campus that are going to deliver the Shake Alert Earthquake Early Warning message that was implemented by Early Warning Labs. And so this will make Biola a much safer community, and it will also set an example and raise the bar for everybody else throughout the nation, that this is what they also need to do to be earthquake safe. So everybody needs to practice. They need to know what their supplies are. So everybody needs to be self-sufficient. So I want to empower you. Everybody needs to empower themselves to be self-sufficient in disasters, not just earthquakes, but all disasters. So you need to have water. You need to have your supplies. You need to have a to-go bag at work, at home, and in your car. You need to be able to have a fire extinguisher to be able to put out small fires before they become big ones. In an earthquake, the most damage is going to come from fires. It's going to come from damage to buildings. And so by retrofitting homes, by being able to be prepared, it's all about survivability. The better you are prepared, the easier your survivability, and the faster you are going to recover from that disaster. And so with that, I want to empower everybody to practice their drop, cover, and hold on today, as well as look at their preparedness. Have they talked to their families? Do they have a plan in their family? Do they have an emergency contact outside to communicate with their families? And I empower you today to look at your preparedness and to take action, much like Biola University has done by not just implementing earthquake early warning, but also being able to retrofit some of their buildings. 6 of their buildings have been retrofitted to be earthquake safe. They have also implemented new procedures into their system and 7 other things that you are going to hear about soon. So I'm going to turn it over now to William Wilhite, who is going to he is the Vice President of Enrollment and Marketing and Communications at Biola, to tell you exactly what they have done here on campus to improve their safety. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of Biola University, I want to welcome you to our campus today. On behalf of our administration, our faculty, our staff, our 6,100 students on campus, we welcome you today to the 2019 Great California ShakeOut exercise. And thank you, Margaret, for your kind words and for the opportunity to host as the Southern California location this year. As Margaret alluded to, we take campus safety seriously here at Biola. It was in 2014 that we hosted the Great ShakeOut in that year, and that was an exercise that validated and confirmed many things that we had done well. It exposed some things that we needed to improve upon. And that's, I think, the lesson today when we gather like this is that we identify areas where we can refine and shore up and strengthen and enhance so that we minimize casualties, we minimize loss of life if a catastrophic earthquake were to take place. I want to acknowledge this morning our nationally recognized campus safety chief, John Ojisakoba, for his leadership and guiding our campus over the years and also for facilitating today's events. As Margaret alluded to, we have made a number of campus improvements, including not only retrofitting our buildings, not only installing public address systems, which you will hear this morning, not only installing the first early earthquake awareness system on any university campus in the country, which will be field tested today. We continue to conduct regular drills. We continue to do the kinds of things that help our students and help our employee community be prepared, instinctually prepared to know how to respond if something were to happen. So on behalf of the university this morning, I want to welcome you again. It's an exciting morning. It's a critical morning. It's a morning we learn and gather what we can from this morning's exercise so we're better equipped to drop, to cover, and to hold on as we anticipate future earthquakes. At this point, I'd like to introduce our LA County Supervisor, Janice Hahn, to come and share a few words.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Biola and our La Mirada Mayor, Steve DeRoos, for hosting us today. And I think this is pretty great that in a little less than 1 hour, millions of Californians will participate in the world's largest earthquake preparedness drill, the Great California ShakeOut at 1017. And I'm proud that a university like Biola is the epicenter of activities for the entire Southern California region today. And both today's events and a series of earthquakes we experienced this summer in LA County were reminders that it's not a matter of if a large earthquake will hit, but when. And it's up to all of us to be prepared. I encourage residents in LA County and across the state to join us at 1017 as we practice drop, cover, and hold on, or lock, cover, and hold on if you use a wheelchair or a walker. My own grandchildren this morning across the county at 1017 at their school will be participating in this same event. And this can mean the difference between life and death in the case of a major earthquake. And here in LA County, it needs to be second nature to all of us. I hope the residents will take time to participate, but what is perhaps more important about the Great California ShakeOut is that it's an opportunity for local governments, first responders, and nonprofits to practice full-scale earthquake response exercises. Today, our county's firefighters, our sheriff's deputies, and members of the Office of Emergency Management are using this opportunity to train with federal, state, local, cities, and NGOs in coordinating their response and recovery efforts so that we can be absolutely prepared in the event of a catastrophic earthquake. I know that LA County is ready. We have world-class first responders led by individuals like our fire chief, Daryl Osby, our sheriff's captain, Tetro, who are here today. They not only run through these drills regularly, but our LA County Fire Department's urban search and rescue team are regularly deployed across the county to fires, floods, and hurricanes. They were even deployed to the Puebla earthquake in Mexico in 2017. Our first responders, I know, are ready for anything. But I do worry a little bit that our residents have become complacent. We've not had a large-scale earthquake in a long time, but we will. And when we do, it is vital that you and your family are prepared. Take this opportunity today to get ready. And sign up for My Shake app to get an alert before the shaking starts. Thank you. I was shaken up. I'm pleased to represent the great Senator Bob Archuleta, who also represents Biola.
Drop, cover, hold. That's what you want to hear. Drop, cover, hold on. You hear those words, you know it's happening. And that's what we're experiencing here at Biola. Because if you haven't had a chance to go through that trailer to simulate exactly what it feels like with a large earthquake, you've got to take a minute out. I was there this morning, supervisor and the chief and everyone, please, you've got to understand what you've done today. All of us participating. What an opportunity this is for Southern California to make a statement across the entire state of California. Because when they talk about earthquakes, they don't just talk about one area, they talk about the entire state. So we have a common denominator in California. We can all hold hands from one end of the state to the other, and that common denominator is safety, earthquake safety, and preparedness, and this is what is happening here at Biola. We're part of the 32nd Senate District, and I am your senator. I'm so proud to be here. And as a matter of fact, I've been able to go down even to the library. There's a library here that I went down there. It was smoke everywhere, computers on the floor, table turned upside down. I thought my grandkids had just come to visit. But it was so realistic. Smoke was in there. I couldn't believe the aftershock and the damage was done to that library. Books everywhere. It was a mess. But that's the only way that we're going to get the message. To utilize our visual, to utilize the feel, the fear factor that goes over us. We've had people who come to visit California and they say, that's the number one fear I have is the earthquake. Well, those of us who have lived them, we know we can handle it. And the reason we can is because we know we're prepared. And we're prepared because of what we put in our trunks, what we put in our houses, the water, the fuel, whatever it is you need to prepare, it's so important. So yes, indeed, at 1017, across America, across California, 1017, October 17th, millions of people here in California especially, at work, at home, as they're traveling, they will participate in the largest earthquake drill ever because earthquakes can happen anywhere. Not just in California, but they can happen anywhere in the world. So we've got to send the message to everyone. Everyone has got to be aware that they must protect themselves, their family, and be prepared. Because the earthquake has no distinction between who you are, what you own, what you owe, where you live. It's just taking you out. That's what the earthquake. We got to be prepared. So when I say drop, cover, and hold on, I mean that is the new statement that all of us have to remember. Our kids across the state are learning that right now. When we were kids, remember that was we would get under the table, but now we're doing it for a different reason because we're preparing for the earthquake. So millions upon millions are ready for the shakeout. And I thank you, Biola, for what you've done to prepare us. Last year, over 43 million people participated in the Great ShakeOut earthquake drills. And this year, we're going to exceed that number. And of course, last major earthquake was suffered in our district, my district, the 32nd district, which supervisor you have a part of. That was a 5.7 magnitude earthquake, and the damage was done in Whittier, the Whittier Narrows area, but especially in downtown Whittier itself. We had millions upon millions of dollars of damage. Particularly hit hard was the uptown Whittier area, with about 200 historical homes and chimneys were all over the street. It was severely damaging the business in a community there in Whittier. Whittier High School, the historic building, suffered significant damage. The damage forced the school district to bring in many portable buildings, and now, of course, it's all been reconstructed to be stronger and safer. But we have to look to La Mirada. We have to look to Biola to set the tone, because this is where we're getting the knowledge and skill to prepare. So I want to thank you all for doing that. So now I'd like to introduce the leader of La Mirada, our mayor, Steve DeLaRue. Mr. Mayor, it's all yours.
Thank you, Senator Archuleta, and also Supervisor Hahn. This is the 35th year that La Mirada has participated in the Great California Shakeout. You know, if you're not prepared, you're guaranteed for failure. And when it comes to public safety, failure is not an option. And so we have to be prepared. We have to do these exercises. We have to be a part of this so that we can be prepared, and so all our community will be safe and sound. And so I would just like to thank Biola for hosting us, Dr. Corey for offering this beautiful campus for us today, and for Chief O for organizing this, and for State Senator being here, and for our County Supervisor Janice Hahn for being here, and on all of you, all of our first responders here that are all part of this. You all come together for a common cause, and that's for public safety. And so I would just like to give a shout out to some of the volunteers that are giving their time here today to make this event happen. And that's La Mirada CERT, Hamwatch, students from La Mirada High School, Biola University, our first responders, volunteers, and community partners. All of you help make La Mirada a great community. And together we can work cooperatively in our response to any disaster that may come our way for a positive outcome for all of our residents and all of our citizens. So I just want to thank all of you for being here today. And I'd also like to thank the media for being here and helping get this word out that needs to go out across this county and across our state to always be prepared no matter what. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce from the U.S. Geological Survey, Dr. Ken Hudnut.
No doubt, Los Angeles is a megacity at risk from earthquakes. So remember, when you feel the ground shake, drop, cover, and hold on. These are not empty words. They may save you or someone you love from serious injury someday. On the 5th of July this year at 8:19 p.m., a group of earthquake scientists and engineers, including myself, were in Ridgecrest, California, due to the magnitude 6.4 earthquake that had occurred on the 4th of July. While we were in our meeting, an aftershock of the 6.4 suddenly hit. We all did drop, cover, and hold on underneath the tables. We did it together right away. We got up, and with some nervous laughter, we resumed our meeting. Then, the magnitude 7.1 hit. Fortunately, we had all just done a rehearsal with what we now know in retrospect was an immediate foreshock of the magnitude 7.1. When the 7.1 hit, we dropped, covered, and we held on. And I want to emphasize that last part, hold on. This time when we did drop, cover, hold on, we held on, and this time it felt like we were holding on for dear life. When we say drop, cover, and hold on, we really mean it. The value of holding on is that, as Margaret Vinci said in her eloquent start to the event here today, things will walk away from above you. You need to hold on because things will move. In Ridgecrest, if I hadn't been holding on to the leg of that table, it would have moved away. It wouldn't have been covering me anymore. So, in Ridgecrest that night, things moved. You need to hold on. So that's why our message for ShakeOut this year, as it is every year, is to drop, cover, and then, don't forget, hold on. So please, take it from me based on my firsthand experience in Ridgecrest in the 7.1 this July 5th. Someday you may have a similar ride of your life, and you may be glad that you practiced this and took to heart the message, drop, cover, and hold on. Please share this message with everyone around you at work and at home too. You might save someone else's life by sharing this message. A co-worker, someone else's child, your parent, your sibling or spouse, one of your own children's lives. You might save your own life. So, know what to do. Don't hesitate. Trust me. Just drop, cover, and hold on. Preparation, like the mitigation work that's been done here at Biola University, is exactly what we hope everyone will do in all of the universities, all of the colleges, all of the businesses too. Earthquake, structural, and non-structural mitigation is the key, as is drop, cover, and hold on to survival. The full-scale exercise happening here today, thanks to Margaret Vinci, is based on an earthquake scenario of a magnitude 7.1 on the northern Elsinore fault system that comes very close to here. Earthquakes like this that are moderate in magnitude but close can be equally damaging, even more damaging than the more distant, bigger earthquake that we also are concerned about, like a big one on the San Andreas Fault. But as you just heard from Senator Archuleta, the experience here with the Whittier Narrows earthquake of October 1st, 1987, even though it was below magnitude 6, it did a ton of damage, as did the South Napa earthquake in 2014, which was a magnitude 6. So it's not always the big one. You know, it's the more frequent, moderate earthquake that's closer that you also need to be well prepared for. And that's what Biola University has done. That's what we hope everyone will do, and thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure and honor to introduce a colleague of mine from the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, Kevin Miller.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for having us here today. Good morning. As California's lead in the coordination of emergency planning, response, and recovery efforts, the Governor's Office of Emergency Services is committed to improving the overall preparedness of Californians in advance of a disaster. The key purpose of the Great ShakeOut is to encourage communities and organizations to be prepared to survive and recover rapidly when the next big earthquake occurs. Participants include people in schools, businesses, nonprofits, government agencies, neighborhoods, organizations, and households all across California. Those participating in today's drill are an example to others that the importance of being prepared and working together is a top priority. We hope that drills like the one here today can continue to help us practice earthquake preparedness in California. Research shows that people are most likely to take preparedness steps when they see others performing such actions. And history has shown that the steps that Californians take to prepare for the next damaging earthquake can improve our ability to recover. You may only have seconds to protect yourself in an earthquake, so be prepared and know what to do and always have a plan. Cal OES is working with federal and state partners to provide additional seconds prior to shaking to protect you and your loved ones. California's earthquake early warning system has established governance with leadership from Cal OES, along with state agencies, local government, and private industry working together to launch the system and integrate these critical alerts into all sectors. The Ridgecrest earthquakes on July 4th and 5th reminded us once again of the damage and disruption that can occur due to earthquake shaking. This was widely felt, yet not near a major population center, which would have made things much worse. Next time, we may not be as lucky. The state of California has invested more than $25 million to date to complete the build-out of the California Earthquake Early Warning System, so statewide alerts can be provided starting this year and expanding over the next several years. Working with the USGS, the FCC, Cal OES has tested Shake Alert through the wireless emergency alert system this past year. It's the same alert system as used for Amber Alerts, but alerting for imminent earthquake shaking. These were a first not only in California, but for the nation, to ensure that the public can receive timely and reliable alerts. An automated public alert like earthquake early warning will also vastly reduce call volumes to our 911 infrastructure and emergency dispatchers during the most critical times, prioritizing large call volumes. Earthquake early warning and Shake Alert are critical innovations that provide yet another tool to better protect Californians from earthquakes. California's earthquake early warning system has established that governance ahead of time. Nothing is going to take the place of being personally prepared. Having a family emergency plan, knowing to drop, cover, and hold on are more important than ever as we continue to face the threat of earthquakes. I want to thank you all again for being here today, for your commitment to earthquake safety, and it takes all of us to make our neighborhoods, businesses, and universities more resilient. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Chris Nance from the California Earthquake Authority.
Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, Biola University, for serving as a sun-shining example of earthquake preparedness. They take this responsibility very seriously. And it's our call today to ask that people throughout the state of California take their household preparedness very seriously as well. And most importantly, after having that kit, after knowing how to drop, cover, and hold on, knowing about the resources that you'll need to recover from potentially costly earthquake damage. Here are a couple of things to have in mind about that. First, Don't let that little myth in your head about whether you think earthquake insurance may be too expensive get in the way of a simple call to your home insurance agent who can help educate you otherwise about how earthquake insurance really works, the number of options that you have available to you, and most importantly, what might be at risk if you're without earthquake insurance and your cost to rebuild. Secondly, if you live in an older house built before 1980 that's on a raised foundation, a house that you step up into that has a floor, say, 4 feet off the ground, you're in a house that we would refer to as having been built on a raised foundation. That house built before 1980 likely is without the proper bracing and bolting to prevent that house from toppling off its foundation during an earthquake. By retrofitting, you can also reduce the premium on your earthquake insurance by up to 25%. The bottom line here is it's a heck of a lot cheaper to prepare for recovery in advance with earthquake insurance and retrofitting if necessary than would be the cost to suddenly be surprised with a damaging earthquake that potentially could take away your house worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you again, Biola University. Thank you again, leaders of our law enforcement, fire protection, city government, county leaders. Everybody here is taking this responsibility, and so should be our call for those of us at home. Next up, Chief Darrell Osby, County Fire Department. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. And on behalf of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, it's indeed a pleasure to be here, and I would like to thank Biola for hosting this event. Thank one of my bosses, Honorable Supervisor Janice Hahn, and all the other partners that are here that work with the Los Angeles County Fire Department as it relates to ensuring that we have a safe community. One of the philosophies of our firefighters and firefighter paramedics and lifeguards on our department, because they're required to train minimally 2 hours each shift when they're at work, their philosophy is train as though your life depends on it. Train as though your life depends on it, because it does. And as we're here this morning to talk about the California ShakeOut, we're asking you to do the same, to prepare yourself as though your life depends on it, because it could potentially will. The Los Angeles County Fire Department later will have a demonstration of some of the skill sets that we utilize during earthquakes, our urban search and rescue team. There are 2 international urban search and rescue teams in our country, one in our department and the other in Fairfax, Virginia. They've had the unique experience of traveling throughout the world to see devastating earthquakes and other natural disasters. And the Great ShakeOut and the great earthquake that we're preparing for here pales in comparison to the Whittier or the Ridgecrest or the earthquakes that we've experienced in our lifetime. So it's very important that you train. And now is the time to train, prior to the incident, not during the incident. In addition to that, for our businesses that are here, to ensure that you have a business resiliency plan prior to an incident. The most devastating disaster that I've ever gone to in my career was Hurricane Katrina. And most businesses did not survive because they did not have a business resiliency plan prior to that disaster. Moving forward, the Los Angeles County Fire Department is one of the busiest departments in the nation. We respond to over 400,000 calls a year, which equates to over 1,100 calls a day. If there's a major incident and you dial 911, we may not be available to respond within minutes, hours, or even days, depending on the type of incident and the magnitude of the earthquake. So I'm here to re-emphasize the importance of your earthquake supply kit being sufficient for at least 72 hours, if not more, in relation to a potential disaster, ensuring that you have several days, if not weeks, of medication. Also, I see with us is our Sheriff's Department. The Los Angeles County Fire Department and the Sheriff's Department has a CERT training program, and community emergency response training team, I emphasize that all neighbors, citizens, and businesses partner with us to train yourselves. Our experience shows that in major disasters, that the number one entity that saves lives and communities are convergent volunteers. And we're here to train you to help you partner with us as it relates to property and life conservation. It was already mentioned about the practicing drop, cover, and roll, so I won't reemphasize that again, other than to practice that now prior to an event. If you need more information, you can go to the Los Angeles County Fire Department website at fire.lacounty.gov. That will give you more information in relation to your personal preparedness, your community preparedness, and your business preparedness in relation to a potential disaster. I would like to reemphasize, as it relates to me being the fire chief and our firefighters, that we can't respond to these disasters alone. There's a partnership, and we want you to partner with us to ensure your life safety and our community resiliency. I can't even blame the wind, right? So next, I would like to bring to the podium and introduce John Justacoba. He's the Chief of Police at Biola campus. So, John.
Good morning, everyone. Over the years, as a university, we have worked tirelessly to build a comprehensive earthquake preparedness plan for our campus, the community. Our plan includes conducting seismic assessment and retrofit of campus buildings, identifying roles in implementing campus emergency management teams, developing and deploying procedures and training programs, not just for our campus emergency management teams, but also for our students and our employees here on campus. We've also invested heavily in systems and resources, including communication systems, food, water, and medical supplies. But our main focus here, today is to test the program that we've built over the years, identify areas of weaknesses, and then go back, to the drawing table and try to develop strategies on how we can further improve here. As a university, we will continue to take steps to prepare for a major earthquake, because another big one is a matter of when, not if. With that, our exercise will begin in a few minutes in here. We urge everyone here, except for the media, to drop, cover and hold on once the shake alert sounds over our campus public address system. Thank you all for being here today.